What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am about to spray paint this budget-friendly BCA rifle, and I don't know, I figured I would turn on the camera, have some fun with you guys, show you how I paint rifles, and maybe you can give me some tips, or maybe you'll learn something. Who knows? I'm a child and I love painting guns. I have painted dozens of AR-15s, dozens of guns in general, and it's a great way to customize the gun, have a little fun, and I've done very expensive guns, I've done less expensive guns, and it's very, very easy to do. There's a couple things that matter. One, you want to make sure no paint gets inside of the action, where the BCG is, in the barrel, any of those things. The mag well, make sure you cover that off. You don't want any paint inside of your AR-15. Second, grease and oil. You want to make sure you rub down and clean the gun extremely well. If you have grease and oil on the outside of the gun, that's going to stop the paint from properly adhering to the gun. And no matter what you do with spray paint, it's going to wear off, or Cerakote, it's going to wear off no matter what. But this, making sure there's no oil or grease will help. If you're going to paint the optic and the light, no big deal. I've done that a million times. Just make sure, obviously, you tape off the lenses really well so no paint gets on there. If you cover the lens in paint, you can't see through it, the light can't shine through. I have taped off the buttons before on lights and optics, but I don't really think that's necessary. I've never had a problem, but if it's a very expensive optic, maybe not paint it, or cover up the buttons, your choice. Don't get cheap spray paint. That's my third tip for you. This Duracoat stuff has a built-in hardener, and let me get my camera to focus on it. Has a built-in hardener that you release from the bottom. This stuff is excellent. What we're going to use today is some aluma-hyde from Brownells. I've used this stuff a ton on guns. Tan, green, a whole bunch of colors. A lot of them are out of stock, so I don't know if they're out of stock or they're discontinuing them. I hope they're not discontinuing them because I use these a ton. They adhere very, very well. We have a dark gray. I've never done a gray rifle before, so we're going to do a dark gray base, let it dry, and then we have matte black. We're going to do some matte black accents, so it's not going to look crazy. It's not going to be a drastic change, like if I was painting FDE or OD green or something, but it's going to be subtle. It's going to be urban tactical, I'm going to call it. Let me make sure there's nothing else. Oh, a tip for you. When I paint rifles, I find it easy to hang them up, whether that be by the stock or by the grip or whatever, but it's very, very easy to hang them up. It allows you to paint all four sides of the rifle without having to wait for it to dry and flip it over as if you're laying it on something. When I do the texture though, then I like to lay it down because it's very easy to lay the leaf or the net or whatever you're using to apply texture. It's very easy to lay that on a rifle laying flat compared to one that's hanging in midair and dangling. So we're going to paint it gray hanging in the air. Once it dries, we'll lay it down. I'll show you what I'm doing, how I do the texture, where I'm about to tape off, and let's have some fun. Alright, as you can see, I taped off the muzzle device and down the barrel so nothing gets in there. I don't care if paint gets on the barrel. I stuffed things and a whole bunch of stuff in the mag well so nothing gets in there. I taped off the area where the grip goes. Not necessary, it just makes putting the grip on a little bit easier. And there's also a bunch of cardboard and different things stuffed in there so nothing gets in the action again. Make sure yeah, ejection port door is closed. This is the old stock. I don't care if I get any paint on that. That's just the old one. Alright, make sure you shake up the paint very well so it goes on nice and smooth and doesn't clump. You want to try to keep the spray paint can the same distance away from the rifle at all times, again, so it goes on nice and evenly. And then take your time, hit every section, try not to miss anywhere. Remember, you have to hit all sides, up, down, left, right, bottom, everywhere. So I definitely recommend a second coat here. Make sure any spots that you miss, you can hit it up a second time. Get the paint on a little bit thicker. Same idea. Shake the paint can. Hit everywhere from the same distance away and let it dry for a long, long time. Don't forget the safety. So this is where I lay the rifle down to apply the pattern. Again, make sure the paint is dried extremely well. I went with these garden fencing that my wife had laid around because I wanted really thick lines. I didn't want to put anything like thin like a leaf or a net. Like I walked around my house and my basement and my garage for a long time trying to find something that would give really, really wide design on here. And this is what I decided to go with. So you lay it flat on the rifle, shake up the paint can, and same thing. You want to make sure you're about the same distance away. Hit every inch of the rifle, up, down, left, right. Take your time, and then you're going to leave it again until the rifle is 100% dry. All right, make sure she's dry and flip her over. We got to do the other side. Rinse and repeat. Lay the netting on there so you get the design and the layout you want. I had to play around a little bit with the forward assist to get it to lay flat. Once you do that, shake up the paint good and just apply a second layer. Again, try to be as even as possible and don't let it clump up anywhere. All right. Several hours later, we are all done. She is all put back together. I started this very early in the morning. It was, I don't know, 8 o'clock or so, and it's 6:30 at night now. What time? 6:32 at night. So take your time. Don't rush. Let the paint really dry, especially when you're laying the rifle down and flipping it over and it has contact on stuff. Take your time, let it dry. If it's tacky at all, leave it. The safety, when you make sure that obviously if the safety is in one position as you paint, you move that safety to get underneath it, especially if the colors you're painting are drastically different than the original color of the rifle. If you take the grip off, the spring and detent that holds the safety in place will come out and your safety will be loose. No big deal. I just left it there and just kind of slid it up and down as I painted around it. Ejection port cover, being this, the cover was already black and the rifle's gray and black, I didn't care about painting the inside of the cover. I just left it shut so no paint got in the rifle. But again, if you're painting it a drastically different color, you may want to paint the inside of that cover, ejection port cover. If not, no big deal. Don't be afraid to paint rifles. It's not hard. It's very easy. I've painted super budget friendly rifles like this one to give it a little more uniqueness, a little bit more aesthetics, just make it look a little bit better. I've also painted very expensive rifles. I painted like $2,000 rifles and it doesn't faze me or concern me. It makes them unique. It makes them yours, and it will fade and wear, especially with spray paint, a lot faster than Cerakote or something, but I don't care. It's a tool to be used and shot and beat up, and this gun has about 2,000 rounds through it so far. So far, so good. And we'll continue shooting it, and we'll see what happens. We'll see when it breaks. We'll see if it makes the 5,000 rounds or not. And yeah, a lot of money to test a rifle, but it's all for science, and it's all for you boys and girls. Before you go, do me the favor, please like the video and subscribe. If you've made it all the way here to the end of the video, you are a true Tiberious OG fan. I appreciate it. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button especially. We hit 50,000 subscribers a week ago, whatever. Now we're on to 100. So if you aren't subbed, help me get to 100,000 followers. It's going to take a while, but you got to start somewhere. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I will see you next time. Be good. Peace.